Has a predator's evolutionary trait mutation ever failed because it made them too effective? Yes. Lots of times predators go extinct because they ate up all their prey. Dinosaurs probably evolved into much smaller birds because the food sources to feed the massive older dinos were too scarce. You could make a solid argument, in fact many fields of science have made the argument, that humans are so effective as a species that we've caused considerable damage to the habitability of our planet. Something like 2/3 of all species either have gone or will soon go extinct because of humans. My guess is that Earth's next sapient species will say that exact thing about us. Wasn't there a species of boar that evolved to have suicide tusks? Like, the female's overwhelming preferred longer, curved tusks, eventually leading this species to grow their tusks into their skull or something? Saber-toothed tiger was the one we got taught over specialization. Their teeth were selected for inbreeding by mates, but eventually it suggested they got in the way of eating of protruded into weird places. I think it was Charles Darwin that had an interesting analogy of this situation with the concept of introducing wolves to an imaginary island of rabbits. The wolves would prosper hunting with reckless abandon until the rabbits had died out, ensuring their own end as well as they've overconsumed their only food source. Hyper-successful predators seem to actually have a quite profound evolutionary disadvantage in this regard. Yeah, dude, we're currently working on killing ourselves and everything on the planet. We're so good at what we do. I believe that the shell-boring sea snail went extinct once before since it was so effective at eating other snails. The trait has only recently resurfaced again, and only one species of snail has it. Not a predator per se, but similar enough in the sense that a species destroyed itself and the environment that sustained them. https. I'm pretty sure this is why we don't have megalodons anymore. From a human perspective, this happened in Easter Island, and environmental collapse is theorized to be the reason behind the desertification of Iraq from the Sumerian city-state days, as well as the collapse of the Mayan polities. For species, experiments have been done by leaving rats on islands without predators where the rats overbreed and exhaust local food sources, then turn to eating each other. Predators are generally helpful to ecosystems, and the lack of predators leads to ecosystem collapse as the prey animals exhaust the local food supply and hit a bust cycle. Predator-prey cycles are self-reinforcing over long time periods absent external intervention. The lesson here is that the environment will survive, but humanity may not survive the shock. Interesting point, but seems like it would still fall under the evolution aspect. If the predator is too efficient, then there is less food supply, so the ones with fastest metabolism will not make it. The longer you can go without eating, the more likely you are to survive and breed. Great example would be alligators. They are perfect predators with virtually no natural enemy. Yet they can go years without eating. Yes. One thing to also remember is as the predator population kills the majority of the prey population, the size of the predator population will decrease because they don't have enough food. When the population of the predators becomes small enough, the prey is able to thrive and overpopulate because no one is hunting them, and this leads to the predators thriving because of an overabundance of prey, and the cycle repeats over and over. It is a really delicate balance. Crocodiles used to have legs long enough to gallop. They ate everything around them and starved. Look up the hug wolf. House cats are furry little slaughterhouses. They can easily thrill-kill themselves out of food. Humans have done this on a few occasions. Easter Island springs to mind. Hey up! If you haven't already, check out a little novel called Ishmael by Daniel Quinn. It's a whimsical and uncomplicated conversation between a guy and a gorilla that orbits and murmurs about many great and fascinating questions about predators, prey, and snacks, including the one you've just asked. You'd like it. It's believed that this is what happened to the saber-toothed tiger. The fangs were a specialty hunting tool that made them specialized to hunt one specific prey which they hunted to extinction. Predators can mutate being extra large, which makes it so their food needs are too great and thus they starve. Not counting micro things like viruses and bacteria. I don't think there is one that we know about. However, you could make the argument that humans are heading towards that. We're too advanced, but haven't developed the mental capability as a whole. I mean to use those advancements in a sustainable way. So if we do wipe ourselves out at some point, then we'll be one that got too advanced for our own good. For most animals though, the numbers control themselves very well naturally. If there's too many wolves, they eat too many deer, so these less deer and wolves starve, reducing their numbers. Then with less wolves, the deer survive more and repopulate. Once they get too numerous, that allows the wolves to flourish, and it just keeps repeating that process of the balance between predator and prey shifting over and over.